Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. It's such a pleasure to be able to spend some time with you today. We're going to give it just a quick moment to allow for more of our family and friends and students to join us, and then we'll go ahead and get started. All right. Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. It is such a wild time to think that we are already in August and our students are preparing to join us so shortly. So thank you for taking time to connect with us today and learn a little bit more about what these first few days and weeks will look like for our new students as they are joining the Bentley community. This is a part of our Falcon Live chat series. And if you are newer to this series, this is the webinar-based orientation sessions that we host throughout the summer. We do see a lot of families or supporters that will join us, but students are also welcome to view this information as well. With that being said, we do record each of these sessions and they are posted to our Bentley Orientation YouTube channel. So you are welcome to view this recording and or other recordings that are available that we posted throughout this summer and past years. Throughout our time today, you will hear from a variety of our campus partners or our campus experts, as I like to refer to them, talking about these different programs and opportunities that our students will have access to. If you do have a question throughout, at the bottom of your screen, there is a button that says more. You can click the Q&A button from there, and then you can go ahead and post any questions that you might have throughout this presentation. Please note that we will get to questions at the end of the session, but if there's something that pops into your mind, don't hesitate to put that into the Q&A button feature so that way we can make sure that we can address it. If it is something that is a little bit more specific to you or your student, we can try to answer it generally, but we would always encourage you to feel free to reach out to us through our new Falcon question form or to our offices directly, and we'd be happy to work with you one-on-one on that. So with that being said, we're going to do some introductions of our large panel that we have today, and then we'll get started with all of our content. So you have been hearing from me for a few moments now, and I'd love to formally introduce myself. My name is Bobby Lynn Kekic. I'm the Executive Director for Orientation and Student Onboarding here at Bentley, and just so grateful to have been able to spend some time with you all over these past few months and looking forward to be able to meet your students shortly. I'm going to turn it over to Claudette Blatt for the next introduction.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bentley. We are pleased to have our newest Falcons with us today. My name is Claudette Blott. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am the director of the Multicultural Center. I am looking forward to engaging with you when you first step on the campus. So get excited about being here. I will now turn you over to Karen.
Morning. Thank you, Claudette. My name is Karen Zufanti Pabon. I'm one of the senior international student and scholar advisors at the Center for International Students and Scholars here at Bentley. So I work with international students coming into the United States. I've been in the field for over 35 years, but I've been at Bentley for about 2.5. So I'm very excited to answer any questions you have and to meet you all when you get on campus. And I will turn it over to Caroline.
Everyone, my name is Caroline Horn. I'm the Associate Director for Orientation and Student Onboarding here at Bentley, and I use she, her pronouns. And I will hand it over to Kenny.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kenny Allard. I use he, him pronouns, and I am the Assistant Director for Orientation and Student Onboarding here at Bentley, and we're so excited to welcome you all to campus very soon. I will turn it over to DJ.
Thank you, Kenny. My name is DJ. I use he, his, him pronouns, and I'm the Senior Assistant Director in the Multicultural Center. Welcome to Bentley. I'm excited to meet you all. And I will throw over to our last panelist, which is Brendan.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brendan O'Connor. I use he, him, his pronouns. I'm the Interim Senior Assistant Director of the Residential Center, and I will be focusing on the Defined Community Early Arrival Program today.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all so much for quickly introducing yourselves. There's by no means an expectation that folks remember all of our names, but you will be seeing us when you arrive to campus. So hopefully you'll have some familiarity there. With that being said, during our time together today, we're going to do a quick overview of the larger New Falcon experience. We're going to dive into some of our pre-orientation programs, so our Mosaic experience, our defined communities, and then we're going to wrap with our international student orientation and welcome and some of the next steps for all of our incoming new Falcons. And then we'll open it up to those questions and answers as we reflected. So again, as we are speaking, please feel free to put those questions in the Q&A and we'll make sure to have time at the end to get to those. So here we are, the New Falcon experience. Hopefully this is not the first time that you are hearing this idea of the New Falcon experience, but this really serves as our onboarding experience, really a journey for our incoming students. We really work to empower our students at every step of the way by focusing on academic and social and personal development. And we really try to ensure that each student is equipped to excel and engage and really make the most out of their time here at Bentley. This program is built on the 3 pillars that you see in front of you, so preparation, support, and connection. And as we break down each of those pieces, as we think about preparation, this is really how are we preparing students for life at Bentley, through academic success and course selection, to literally preparing the essential tasks, all of those new student tasks that students have been asked to accomplish, which families and supporters may have been helping them to navigate thus forth. As we think about support, we really want to ensure that as students have been navigating this process and moving forward, that they know that this is a community that we're going to have endless types of support to help students really thrive throughout this onboarding journey, but then as they transition into full-time students here at Bentley. We know that explicitly the New Falcon experience process, it's new for everyone. And so we really want to make sure that we're helping students along the way. And so this has looked like a variety of resources, but our weekly communications through our New Falcon News, some of our centralized resources with our website, and our centralized question form that has been available for students and families. Please continue to utilize and leverage those. Even when our students are on campus, so many of these resources just help to create that baseline foundation for folks to be successful. And most importantly, as we think about these pillars, we really want to ensure that our students have opportunities for connection with their new community. We know that connection leads to belonging, and when people feel a sense of belonging, they are more likely to succeed. So we want to really make sure that as we are doing this, that we've been able to kind of indulge in different capacities, whether that is our New Falcon mentors who have been connecting with your students, if that is the orientation leader that they meet when they get to campus. And then you're going to hear in just a moment some of the other fabulous leaders that really serve as this new student peer leadership support system that exists, whether your students are living on campus, participating in the Mosaic experience, if they are coming in through our international student orientation and welcome. There's always going to be professional staff and student staff that are here to help to support students along the way. So while that is a very quick overview, if you are interested in learning more about this or seeing what we've done, please feel free to take a look at those resources through our quick guide, our website. We just recently launched a family quick guide in supporting your student as well. So really helpful resources as you continue to navigate these next few weeks and months.
Right. And the next piece is about some of the important tasks that your students have been asked to complete throughout this summer. And so they've had a variety of tasks they've needed to complete. And if they are missing anything on their checklist, please encourage them to complete it as soon as possible. We do know that some students may still be working on their health information and immunization records. We do have a vaccine clinic that will take place place during the orientation program. So if they are in need of that resource, that is something available to all of our students. And then the deadline to enroll and waive health insurance and for people not enrolled in the payment plan, tuition bills are due this week. So just wanting to make sure that you are staying up to date with these important tasks and deadlines as we get closer to the orientation program. The next piece that I wanted to highlight is the goals of our orientation program. And so the first one is community. So being able to welcome new Falcons to the university setting by providing intentional opportunities for interaction with the community. So we'll do that through our Falcon Walk going into convocation. We'll do that during convocation as we welcome both you and your students to the Bentley community. And then a lot more will take place throughout the orientation program. For values, we provide new students with a shared understanding of institutional values and responsibilities. So students will hear from our Student Development Conduct and Care Office. They'll hear from our Office of Institutional Equity and a lot more to really kind of gain knowledge about the Bentley values we have on campus. Academics, we will introduce students to the academic community and resources. And so we do that on the first full day of orientation on Friday. And students will have an opportunity to connect with their Falcon Discovery Seminar peer leader. They'll be able to check out a classroom that they'll have that class in. They'll learn from different resources on campus so they really are able to succeed academically. For engagement, students will engage in social, educational, and cultural programs which enhance their well-being and experience. And so we do that through helping them learn more about the Student Center and what departments and offices are there through our evening programming each night of the orientation program, and really a lot more built into our small group conversations with their orientation leaders and other new students. And then for traditions, we want to introduce our new students to Bentley University traditions and an understanding of their place in the Bentley story and its continuing history. And so all of our new students have the opportunity to take a group photo at the Falcon statue right outside of the library, but we also have the Falcon Walk, which you will participate in as a Bentley tradition. And then students on the Saturday of our program will participate in an event called Lowering Our Shields, which is an opportunity for students to be able to share their stories, but also connects them to the students who have participated in that session before them. And then some highlights about orientation and some pieces to keep in mind before arriving to Bentley. And so students should be completing their self-guided learning courses this month and making sure that they've had those ready to go before orientation begins. We will offer a virtual meet and greet for students on Sunday, August 23rd. This is an opportunity for them to connect with our fall orientation team. So they'll be able to meet other new students virtually, but also connect with our orientation leaders. Our new student orientation for all students will begin on Thursday, August 27th. If students are residential students, they will move into their res halls that morning. And then if they are commuter students, we will have a commuter student check-in and a commuter student welcome session that students and families are able to participate in before we go into the afternoon programming. And then you'll hear more about all of our early arrival programs right after this, but these programs start on either the 24th or the 25th, with domestic student arrival on Thursday, August 27th. Now I'm going to hand it over to DJ to talk a little bit more about the Mosaic experience.
All right. So our Mosaic experience begins on August 24th. But before that, we are having our own parent and guardian overview Zoom webinar on August 13th from 8:30 p.m. And then also on August 23rd, the day before, if you guys have any additional questions at 4:30 p.m. Also, if your student is signed up for the Mosaic experience, they should be receiving communication on who their Mosaic leader or Mosaic ambassador is and helping them through that program. And so they will be receiving communication on 2 Zoom calls throughout the month of August. So just make sure that they are paying attention to their email on next steps on how to get into that Zoom call and meet the people that are going to be in their group and also who's going to be their Mosaic leader. Also, we did send out communication to parent guardians and also students on the image release form. If you guys can have that completed and sent over to us before you get to campus on August 24th, that'd be great. If you do not get a chance to fill it out before getting to campus, that is perfectly fine. When you check in with us that day, we will have a bunch of forms ready for you guys to fill out there, but just be ready to fill out that form. Like I said earlier, move-in day and the first day of the Mosaic experience is on August 24th. And move-in, I believe, will begin at 8:30 a.m. Till 10:30 a.m. And right after will be our welcome lunch in La Cava EDR at 12 p.m. We do usually get the main room where we do the welcome lunch, it does get filled really easily. So we do have an overfill room. So if you want to be in the main room, I suggest showing up a little bit earlier so that way you can get a seat in the main room. But there will be enough seating for all the students and their family and friends. If you are also part of the defined communities and also part of the international student orientation, you should have received a personalized schedule on how to participate in both programs. If you did not receive that communication, you can reach out to me by my email, which is devonlee@bentley.edu. And so please let me know if you did not receive that communication and I will send that right over to you. But also, if you guys don't have any questions for today that kind of pop up during today's webinar, please do not hesitate to reach out to me at my email with any questions or concerns along the way. And we're really excited to welcome you on campus.
Hello, everyone. Brendan O'Connor again, talking about the defined communities within the residential center. So the Defined Communities is a program for early arrival students interested in one of our 6 defined communities for first-year students. So that would either be women leaders of today, future entrepreneurs, first-generation students, honors, emerging leaders, or living well. So any of those 6 defined communities will get to come to campus a little bit earlier than the rest of the students on Monday, August 24th. That move-in time is the same for the Mosaic program as well. So we'll welcome all of our new students coming for that early arrival program on Monday, August 24th, 8:30 to 10:30 a.m. And more information about move-in, instructions, kind of all of that stuff will be coming very soon, hopefully within the next couple of days. But the first event that kicks off our Defined Community Early Arrival program is our family and friend social, as well as Defined Community reception. So we will have some food, we'll have some opportunities for the Defined Community students to get to know some of their campus collaborators, get to meet some of the residential center staff as well, but also just an opportunity for one quick meal before kind of everyone goes off. There will be some additional Defined Community programming later in the day on Monday. On Tuesday, we actually take our students for the defined communities off campus to Hale. It's a opportunity for them to really kind of get to bond with students, get to know other students in their defined communities, but also start to set the scene of how do they want to be leaders while they're on campus and what can they get out of the defined community experience. There are some elements of high ropes courses, so there are waivers required for this. Students usually love this opportunity to get to know their fellow students, their peers, and their floor mates, really, because they'll be kind of on the same floor with them throughout the year. We've got some programming in the evening then on Tuesday, as well as on Monday. And then on Wednesday is a full day of Defend Community programming on campus. Some opportunities to build further connections with their collaborator partners across campus, as well as get to connect with the international students and Mosaic students, I believe at a block party later that night. As DJ mentioned, there are opportunities for students to participate in multiple. So the students in the defined communities got the schedule today. So if there are any individual questions, please don't hesitate to reach out so we can make sure we can get everything there. And if anyone does have any questions, my email is there, boconnor@bentley.edu. And I believe I'm passing it off to Karen.
Thank you, Brendan. It's Karen again. I'm back to talk about international student orientation. So the Center for International Students and Scholars is really an office for international students. It's a student-centered team that really looks at the vital place that international students and scholars hold at Bentley. We're really focused on empowering students to pursue their academic, social, and professional success. And we achieve our goals through strategic areas of advising, immigration compliance, advocacy, cultural exchange, and programming. So we will help the international students from the day they decide they want to come to Bentley and apply to get their visas, to come through their travel arrangements and to arrive in the United States, and then also during their journey here. We give information about employment authorization once you get here, so you can do internships, cultural and social programs, and adjustment support. And we refer you to all the different resources that we have on campus if we can't answer the questions or concerns that you have. And of course, we also run the International Student Orientation Program. The Center for International Students and Scholars welcomes the undergraduate international students by having 2 days of programming, allowing an early move-in, and also setting up each international student with a peer advisor. So you'll have the opportunity to meet with a fellow international student and learn what they learned when they first came to the United States. Here's a little overview of the International Student Orientation. You must RSVP to participate, but you can arrive early on August 25th, which will allow you to get over some of that jet lag if you have it, and get settled on campus, do a little bit of shopping for things for your room that you might not have been able to put into your suitcase to bring to the U.S. And we'll have a welcome reception that night for you and your families. And the next day we'll have some important nuts and bolts immigration session, international student panel, and then social event to meet your peer advisors. And Thursday we'll have more of a cultural presentation with story circles and a little bit about academic success. We'll have a vendor fair where you can get open your bank accounts and get phones, and the immunization clinic, which was already mentioned previously. So I hope that we see you at International Student Orientation.
Wonderful. Thank you all so much for sharing this. I think there's so much thought, effort, and care that goes into all of these pre-arrival programs and really helping to ensure that our students are connected and really able to maximize their time here at Bentley. So we are now going to transition into talking about some of the next steps as we think about the full new student experience for the students who are joining us, whether that is first-year students, transfer students, etc. So the first piece that I'm going to talk about is our new Falcon self-guided learning experience. So students received access to these online courses in July, and these 4 courses really serve as an opportunity for us to have some shared understanding of community rights and responsibilities. This partner really with our core values and the knowledge in our student handbook really help us to have a community that allows folks to thrive and be successful and a safe experience for all. So we really, really, really need our students to go in and to complete these 4 courses. We've already been seeing a great turnout for folks getting into that platform and completing these courses. What's really great is that folks can do it at their own pace, on their own time. If you do a little bit and then have to go back to it, you're able to save your spot. And there's a really interactive component where it allows for folks to be able to gain the important information that feels helpful to them in their experience and knowledge. So if your student is talking about this, or if you are a student on this call and you have questions, you're welcome to reach out to us. But this is something that we really ask students to complete before orientation starts, or even before you arrive for any of our pre-orientation programs. So that way you're able to fully be present in these experiences. And this foundational knowledge really helps us to have that shared understanding so that we can really jump into these topics as we kickstart your Bentley experience. I'm going to kick it over to Kenny.
Yes, awesome. Hi again, everyone. So on Sunday, August 23rd, we're hosting an optional virtual meetup, meet and greet for our new students. And it's really just a chance for them to meet their orientation leader, other new students that are in their group, and to be able to connect with them and ask any questions before arriving to campus. And this is a big tradition that we do that has been with us for quite some time now. And while not required, students often say that this session helps reduce anxiety and stress and makes moving in feel less overwhelming when they're already able to start making connections with folks before they arrive on campus. So highly recommend this if you're able to attend on the evening of Sunday, August 23rd. And more communication will be going out about that soon as well. And I know it was already mentioned, but just talking a little bit more about the new student orientation that runs from August 27th to the 30th, which is designed to help students connect with the Bentley community, which includes new and returning students, staff, and faculty. And then throughout this time, there will be keynotes, workshops, small group discussions, and social and wellness events, all aimed at helping students building up their Bentley network, which I will talk a little bit more on the next slide of what this weekend is going to look like. So here is our schedule at a glance. So Thursday, the 27th is our move-in day. We will have an opportunity for families to connect on our green space at our Falcon Family Hub. We'll have a commuter check-in and meeting. Our vendor fair, which is open to all students. We'll have lunch. We have another tradition, which is our Falcon Walk, which starts on the green space, led by bagpipers, and then folks walk to convocation from the green space to the arena. We'll have our orientation welcome, which at this point you will say your goodbyes to your students, and we'll start the program. They'll have group meetings, dinner, and then from there they'll head into meetings, whether you're a transfer student, an exchange student having your first meeting, or a first year student having a building meeting with your RA, and we'll have a glow party at night. On Friday, we'll start our day with an orientation keynote. Then we'll head into orientation leader group meetings. And this day is really aimed at academics. So we'll have an academic overview. And then from there, we'll have our Flight to Success rotations, which include an academic resource fair, meeting their FDS, their Falcon Discovery seminar group leaders, seeing the classrooms, having drop-in schedule assistance, and so much more. We'll have some specialized dinners for folks if they're a part of the Honors Global Women Scholars or our First Falcons, and then we'll have another evening program. On Saturday, we'll have a community connection day. So this is really an opportunity for folks to learn more, learn from other resources on campus, other campus partners. We'll learn more about equity at Bentley, and we'll have a Life of the Bentley student panel. We'll have dinner. We'll do a signature program called Lowering Our Shields, which is an opportunity for students to connect about a time where they felt connection. And then another evening program, which is a signature Falcons After Dark, where we take over the Student Center. And last but not least, for our Sunday, we will have an opportunity for folks to connect with our university police. We'll have belonging at Bentley, where we'll have folks from our student affairs greet our new students. Ed Garrity, which has been a tradition for longer than I think I've been alive, is going to come back to Bentley, and students always love Ed. And then our Building Your Foundation rotations, which is focused on students' rights and responsibilities via conduct, student development, conduct, and care, and our amazing Bentley Plus program. And then after lunch, we'll close the day with a group meeting and another tradition, which is our Falcon statue photos. And then that's it. And then the next day they start classes, which is so, so exciting.
Thank you, Kenny. And we are not just providing opportunities and resources just for our students, but we really do view our families, supporters, parents, guardians as partners in this experience. We recognize that your student has been with you much longer than they've been a part of this Bentley community. And our philosophy is really to try to partner in as much knowledge sharing, resource sharing as possible. With that, we, of course, want to really make sure that we're empowering our students to be the one that's taking the lead with their experience and really being able to engage in these different opportunities so that way they can learn and grow and start to become even more independent. But we do know and we have seen that family members do continue to be a key partner in this. And we know it's an important part. It helps to ensure the people that are supporting our students to feel informed and connected and prepared throughout this transition. But then as we continue to think about their students' time here at Bentley. So you will see in this slide here a few of the ways that we've been providing some support and resources. You are in one of our sessions right now that helps to provide information and resources for families. But as we start to move closer to the end of this month and then moving forward, few pieces to highlight. As Kenny mentioned, on that move-in day, if you will be with your student on that Thursday, there are some different opportunities with our Falcon Family Hub, our vendor fair, our community lunch, our Falcon Walk and Convocation. As you heard from our campus partners talking about the pre-orientation programs, there's some opportunities to engage with different receptions depending on if your student is participating in any of those programs as well. So please be on the lookout for that. And if you are able to join your student as they arrive to campus, we would love to have you participate in these opportunities. We also understand that coming to campus with your student is not available for everyone. We totally understand that, but we want to also make sure that you have the information, resources, and knowledge to feel informed as your student is navigating through this transition. So on September 9th, we will be offering a virtual workshop for our family members to really give you some insight to what your student experienced during that orientation week. And then also start to think about, okay, now that my student is here, whether they're living on campus or commuting, what do these next few weeks and months and years look like during their time at Bentley? So there'll be representatives from the Division of Student Affairs. We'll also have some folks from Student Success, and then also some student panel. So really an opportunity to kind of help bring some ease, answer some questions once your student is physically here on campus. We will continue with a newsletter series called the Bentley Brief. This is something that goes to all of our families and our alumni. So highly encourage you to take a look at that. If you have not provided your contact information to Bentley, if you go to our New Falcon Experience website, you'll be able to add your contact information there. That will allow you to receive the Bentley Brief. And then if there are any other communications that launch from Bentley, you will have access to those as well. We recognize that this is not a quick turnaround, but we do have our annual tradition of Falcon Weekend, which is an opportunity for alumni, family, community members, friends to come together and really celebrate being a part of the Bentley community. That takes place September 18th through the 20th. So if you're able to join us, we'd love to have you there. And then we will continue these Falcon Live Chat series throughout the first year. So as your student is starting to learn and experience more, we will have sessions where we talk about what is it like for your student to come home for their first break? Or if you are having an empty nest at your home now, what does that look and feel like? How do you transition this role as supporter, as a family member, and what can that look and feel like? And then also thinking about as your student decides to become more involved on campus, if that doesn't happen in the first semester, how do we ensure that they still have access to that in the second semester and beyond? So just know that we'll continue to be here. If there are other different areas that you would like content on or information, you can always reach out to us and we'd be happy to find ways to bring that information to you, whether that's through a session, whether that's through email, video, or also in that Bentley brief. So you're very much along this ride with us as well. And we really want to make sure that you can stay informed and connected as your student transitions into this next chapter.
All right, and now we're going to open it up for Q&A. So feel free to ask any questions that you may have in that Q&A box, and we will start to answer those questions. The first question is, are there any family events that take place from the 27th to the 30th?
I'm happy to take that. So once our students get into convocation, then that formally transitions into our new student programming. As we understand that not all families are able to join their student on campus, that is why we'll continue these virtual opportunities beyond that point. So there will not be any required programming for family members following convocation. And also, if you are unable to be at convocation or you want to get on the road because you've been there all day, we will have that recorded and live streamed. So there's ways to still continue to stay connected, but there is nothing required for families or supporters beyond that day.
For our panelists, is there like one piece of advice that you would like to give a new student's family member as they begin this journey?
Maybe not a piece of advice, but I can share something that my parents did on move-in day. So my parents didn't know like what to say, like to say goodbye. So when they dropped me off at school, moved me in and everything, the words they said were "good luck, have fun," and then they gave me a hug and walked away. And I was like, "Oh wow, that's it." Um, so that's something I always carry, but to always recommend to students: good luck, have fun. College is great, and it's okay if you're not sure what to say too.
One thing I encourage families to do is to take pictures for the student as well as that young person that you're moving in for their first freshman experience is going to be different when you see them at Thanksgiving or the other holidays that they come home for. So take pictures so that they can see their progress and their growth, the physical growth as well as the emotional growth. It'll show through their eyes. So take lots of pictures.
I know that this was mentioned, but once students and families who are on campus process down to the arena for convocation, the students and families will sit in different locations. And so we really like to try to share that in advance. So that way people can do your see you soons as your before you get into convocation, because the students will really go right into their next program. And so we want to make sure that you can have whatever that see you soon is in the way that feels meaningful for you. So definitely encourage you to think about that and what that means for your student. We will have an opportunity for families who are on campus on that day to be able to write notes to your student. So if you have a note, a card you'd like to leave for your student, you can put it in this giant mailbox we have, and we'll make sure to get that to them after a few weeks so that they can have a little piece of home with them for that. And I would say encouraging your student to really be open-minded with this experience. Everybody is going through this for the first time, even if they're transferring in. This is their first time coming to Bentley and being a part of this experience. So really keeping an open mind and thinking about what do they want to do and be and accomplish in this next chapter.
We do have a couple of questions that have been added, and one question is it too late for students to join the Mosaic experience or any of the defined communities?
I can go first. So our application did close a few weeks ago for our Mosaic experience. So unfortunately, we are not accepting any more people, but you guys should all be very excited to join orientation as they have a bunch of programs as well.
Yeah, and similarly, our deadline for defined communities was before we sent out housing assignments. So now that those are all out, we're not able to take any more students in.
There will be a lot of ways, though, for students to interact and engage with the residential center through their RAs, through their hall programming. And then for the MCC, they have a lot of different programs that students can participate in. Peer-to-peer is an option for our new students. So definitely a lot of ways to get involved with those areas, even if you're not a part of that early arrival program. The next question is, are students fully booked on the 29th? And is there time for parents to have any visit time on this day?
That is a great question. So students are in sessions from the morning until the evening. And this is intentional as this is an opportunity for students to hear about all the amazing resources that Bentley has to offer to help them really feel acclimated for when classes start. And so we really highly encourage that all students attend these sessions to really help them feel prepared. So as much as you probably want to see your student, it is really important that they're in these sessions. And there will be plenty of opportunity as well for folks to see their students after orientation and in the weeks to come. Like it was highlighted, Falcon weekend is just a few weeks after orientation, which is another amazing opportunity for folks to see their families and their friends.
I will add, we recognize that there is a quick turnaround between orientation ending and classes starting on Monday. So we'll probably wrap our program on Sunday at like 3:30-ish. We don't want to slot students in for more things because we recognize they're probably trying to prep for classes, but there is technically no formal programming at that point in time. So if folks are traveling and you are trying to have one more hug before you head out, that Sunday afternoon after about 3:30 might be a potential spot for that to happen. The mom in me is tugging at my heartstrings when I hear you say that, Kenny.
At this time, we don't have any more questions, but we know that we threw a lot of information at you in the past 45 minutes. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to answer any and all questions that you have before the early arrival programs and the orientation program at the end of the month. And we thank you for being a part of the session today, and thank you to our panelists. Have a good afternoon.